The video is about Chapter 35, Review and Assessment Questions, pages 1029 to 1033. Our objectives: we're going to summarize and explain the main points of the lesson and solve the assessment questions that are given under each lesson. So let's start with the summary of Lesson 1, which is on infectious diseases. The changes to body physiology that disrupt normal body functions and are caused by microorganisms are called infectious diseases. This explanation, established by Louis Pasteur and Robert Koch, is called the germ theory of disease. Infectious diseases are caused by viruses, bacteria, fungi, protists, and parasitic worms. Disease-causing microorganisms are also called pathogens. Koch also developed a series of rules that made scientists identify which organism causes a specific disease. These rules are called Koch's postulates. Many microorganisms are symbionts that are either harmless or beneficial. Pathogens cause disease by destroying cells, disrupting body functions, or releasing toxins that kill cells or interfere with their normal functions. Now, how diseases spread? Infectious diseases can spread in several ways. Some infectious diseases are spread from person to person through coughing, sneezing, physical contact, or exchange of body fluids. Most infectious diseases are spread through indirect contact, such as pathogens that are carried through the air. These pathogens can be inhaled or they can be picked up from surfaces. Some pathogens are spread by specific kinds of direct contact, such as sexual contact or drug use that involves shared syringes. Other infectious diseases are spread through contaminated water or food. Some infectious diseases spread from animals to humans. Such a disease is called zoonosis. Often the spread of zoonosis involves vectors, which are disease carriers that usually do not get sick from the pathogen. Let's have the lesson 2 summary. On nonspecific defenses, the body has many nonspecific defenses, which defend against a wide range of pathogens. The first line of defense is the skin. Skin keeps pathogens out of the body by forming a barrier that few pathogens can get through. Mucus, saliva, and tears contain an enzyme that can kill bacteria. Mucus can also trap pathogens. When pathogens do enter the body, the second line of defense goes to work. These nonspecific defenses include the inflammatory response, in which chemicals called histamines cause blood vessels near a wound to expand and phagocytes to move into the tissue to fight infection. The production of proteins called interferons, which help block the replication of viruses. The release of chemicals that produce a fever, an increase in normal body temperature, which may slow the growth of pathogens and speed up immune response. For nonspecific defenses in the immune system, the function of the immune system is to fight infection by inactivating foreign substances or cells that have entered the body. The specific immune response works in several ways, including recognizing self, including cells and proteins that belong to the body, recognizing non-self or antigens, molecules found on foreign substances. Antigens stimulate the immune system to produce cells called lymphocytes and recognize, attack, destroy, and remember specific pathogens. Producing specific lymphocytes that recognize specific antigens, they work by attacking infected cells or producing antibodies. proteins which tag antibodies or antigens for destroying or destruction by immune cells. The immune response works in two ways. In humoral immunity, the white blood cells called B lymphocyte or B cells make antibodies that attack pathogens in the blood. In cell-mediated immunity, white blood cells called T lymphocytes or T cells find and destroy abnormal or infected cells. After a pathogen is destroyed, memory B cells and memory T cells stay in the body. These cells help create a faster immune response and the same pathogen enters the body again. Now on Lesson 3 Summary. Acquired immunity. You can acquire immunity without having a disease. Vaccination is injection of a weakened or mild form of a pathogen to cause immunity. Active immunity results from vaccines or natural exposure to an antigen, and passive immunity forms when antibodies are introduced into the body. It lasts only until the immune system destroys the foreign antibodies. On public health and medications, in 2005, less than 5% of human deaths were caused by infectious diseases. This statistics is a result of two major factors. The field of public health provides services that help monitor food and water supplies and promote vaccinations and healthy behavior. The development and use of many new medications, particularly antibiotics and antiviral drugs, has saved many lives by helping to cure infectious diseases. Let's have Lesson 4 Summary. New and re-emerging diseases. Since 1980, many new diseases have appeared and several diseases once thought to have been eradicated have recurred. There are two main reasons for these changes. Interactions with exotic animals have increased, and the misuse of medications has caused diseases that were once under control, such as tuberculosis and malaria, to evolve resistance to many antibiotics. When the immune system misfires. Sometimes the immune system overreacts to otherwise harmless antigens. These three types of disorders are caused in this way. The most common immune system disorders are allergies, which occur when antigens enter the body and bind to mast cells. The mast cells release antihistamines, or histamines, which increase the flow of blood and fluids to the area. This causes allergy symptoms. Allergic reactions in the respiratory system can cause asthma, a dangerous chronic disease in which the air passages narrow and breathing becomes difficult. When the immune system makes a mistake and attacks the body's own cells, an autoimmune disease results. Autoimmune diseases include type 1 diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, and lupus. HIV and AIDS. In the 1970s, clusters of cases of opportunistic diseases, these are diseases that attack people with weakened immune systems, led to the discovery of a new disease called acquired immunodeficiency syndrome or AIDS. Research revealed that AIDS is an infectious disease caused by human immunodeficiency virus or HIV. HIV attaches to receptors on helper T cells. Once inside the cells, HIV copies itself and the new viruses infect more helper T cells. HIV infection gradually leads to the death of more and more T cells. When a person's T cell count drops to about 1/6 the normal level, the person has AIDS. HIV can only be transmitted through contact with infected blood, semen, vaginal secretions, or breast milk. Now let's have lesson check questions on page 1030 from lesson 1. Let's first have number 5 question. List 5 types of agents that can produce infectious disease and give an example of a disease that each specific pathogen may cause. Our sample answer would be for virus, which is a type of agent, it can cause influenza. For bacteria, it can cause anthrax. Fungi, as an agent, can cause athlete's foot. Single-cell eukaryotes may cause malaria. Parasites may cause trichinosis. Now let's have number 6 question. What is a zoonosis? Our answer is zoonosis is a disease that can be transmitted from animals to humans. Let's have number 7 question. What are some ways by which the spread of disease can be prevented? For our sample answer, thorough and frequent hand washing, avoiding contaminated water, avoiding improperly stored or cooked meals or cooked meats and seafood, not being bitten by an infected animal, not consuming the meat of an infected animal, avoiding close contact with an infected animals, wastes, or fluids. Now, lesson 2 questions from page 1030 still. Let's have number 12. What are antibodies and describe their form and function? Our answer is antibodies are proteins produced by the immune system in response to antigens. Antibodies may be attached to particular immune cells or may be free-floating in plasma. The shape of each antibody allows it to attach to one specific antigen. Number 13 question. Describe the roles of helper T cells and cytotoxic T cells. The answer: helper T cells respond to signals from infected cells by activating B cells and cytotoxic T cells and by producing more helper T cells and memory T cells. Cytotoxic T cells hunt down infected body cells and kill them by puncturing their membranes or initiating apoptosis. Number 14 question. Distinguish between humoral immunity and cell-mediated immunity. For our answer, in humoral immunity, antibodies defend against antigens in body fluids, while cell-mediated immunity involves T cells defending the body against pathogens inside body cells. Now let's have lesson 3 questions. Number 19. Who discovered the first antibiotic and how did he discover it? So for our answer, Alexander Fleming was the first one to discover antibiotic. He noted that a mold seemed to produce a substance that inhibited bacterial growth. The substance eventually was mass produced as penicillin. Number 20. Explain 2 ways that public health has influenced the prevention of infectious disease. For our answer, promoting of childhood vaccination and providing clean drinking water. 35.4 lesson check question, page 1031. Let's have number 27 question. Explain why allergies are not classified as autoimmune diseases. The answer is, in an autoimmune disease, the immune system attacks the body's own cells. In an allergy, the immune system overreacts to harmless antigens. For our last question, number 28. Describe the specific action of HIV that makes an infected person unable to fight off other infections. The answer is, HIV attacks key cells of the immune system, leaving the body with inadequate protection against other pathogens. So that's it. This ends the video. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.